Springy or thin subfloors found during demolition must be fixed before installing new flooring to prevent future sagging or cracking. Start by assessing the existing structure using a long straight edge and walking the floor to locate bouncy spots and gaps between panels. If the subfloor is thinner than 3/4 of an inch or shows large deflection when you press, plan to lay new 3/4 of an inch plywood over the existing subfloor to create stiffness rather than relying on underlayment alone. Before adding plywood, screw down the existing panels every 6 to 8 inches along joists using 3-inch screws to minimize movement and to bring loose edges tight. Countersink screws so the new plywood sits flat. If joist spacing is wide or deflection is severe, measure joist span and consider adding blocking between joists at midspan or sistering new joists alongside existing ones using construction adhesive and through bolts to restore structural capacity. When installing the new plywood stagger seams, so seams in the top layer do not align with seams below, and use construction adhesive between layers, plus 3-inch screws every 6 to 8 inches along edges and every 12 inches in the plywood. Finish by checking for level and deflection with a long straight edge and by walking the floor after fastening. Any spot that still flexes should receive targeted blocking, additional screws, or direct joist reinforcement before you proceed with finish flooring. 3 common mistakes are relying on thin underlayment instead of adding structural plywood, which leads to continuing bounce. The fix is to add 3/4 of an inch plywood secured with adhesive and screws, so stiffness comes from the structure, not the finish. Another is failing to address wide joist spacing or damaged joists. The remedy is adding blocking at midspan or sistering new joists with adhesive and through bolts to restore stiffness and load capacity. The third is using only nails or too few fasteners, which allows movement over time. Always use 3-inch screws at close spacing and stagger seams so movement is locked out and the floor becomes a single stiff diaphragm. We run bighomeprojects.com to help homeowners find trusted local contractors and to help contractors find work related to springy floor repair and subfloor replacement. We also host a discussion community on the site where homeowners and pros share photos, questions, and practical tips so everyone can make better repair decisions.